Going live. Okay, we're live. Welcome to Masturbator Experience, where myself, the guy with a huge ego, Masturbator, is like doing a stream, and joining us today is Omega, Omega, or as I like to say, Gias, and for the first time, Serena Dusk. And
Oh, what's up?
Howdy.
yeah, so like we all like me and Serena went like some months ago were like beefing mostly with the Konosuke stuff, and there's a chance Konosuke could join, but that's like a maybe. But some other people are going to join us later on, hopefully. But I was like saying like a lot of people used to beef with each other, but we are cool now. We don't have a beef, and it's not a drama related stream. Like it's not a drama related stream. So we just like here to chill and talk about weep shit. So um so what are we going to talk about? Yeah, we're going to talk about the latest Dragon Ball Super chapter 76 that came out, and did like it came around like September 20th, right? Like on around Monday. And before we like talk about the chapter, there was some issues like Geekdom got a lot of shit because he did his video as soon as the chapter was out, and he didn't want to like he pulled that video out, and his video was not like like it looked like he skimmed through it. He skimmed through the video, like he skimmed through the chapter. He missed a lot of stuff that he should have mentioned, and some stuff which he was complaining about, but it wouldn't be an issue if we actually read the chapter. And looking at that made me look like I should like give it like a two or three more reads because I missed some stuff too. I missed some stuff, and I was like on a bit like this chapter's trash and whatever. But after like giving it like a three to like a second read, I actually like that chapter for the most part, and I'll get to where my issues are. But it's a good chapter. It's not as bad as the leaks made it out to be, and I wish a lot of people, even like some like keep just people like geekdom, right? And I'm not going to like do dedicate this just to complain about the Dragon Ball community. There are two issues I just have with it, and I'll like make it as quick as possibly can. When a chapter is out, it's better to give it like a two or a second or a third read because then you actually understand what's going on there. There are stuff you can miss on the first reading, but when you give it a second or third read, you actually have time to concentrate and focus on things that you missed out on the first time. So if you're going to put it out, if you're going to put it out as quickly as you possibly can, you're risking the chance of missing out on stuff. And if you're going to put yourself out there, and if your entire shtick is that you're an all-knowing Dragon Ball guy, and people actually see you missing on stuff, they're going to call you out, and that's what happened with Geekdom. He did a video which wasn't received well. He was complaining on Twitter. Then he did a stream trying to talk to people. He banned one guy where he banned one guy who told him that he skimmed through stuff, and then someone else like told him what he skimmed through. He's like, oh yeah, I didn't read that. Before that, he said I don't skim stuff. So it's like he basically TLDR like he did a review where he didn't understand stuff. He got backlash, and now he's conceding to a point where he's giving it a second read or a second video on the same chapter. And now it's like, yeah, it's not as bad. There are some stuff that he still just doesn't seem to get, but it's all right for the most part. But like that's one point, and the other argument is leaks have a tendency to like miss out on a lot of stuff because the whole thing is like a basic summary, right? So if you're going to like read the leaks, it's going to look worse than it actually is. And that happened for like three straight chapters where Vegeta got his new form and people were like saying, oh, how ugly it is. It makes no sense for him to get a new form. And then when you like see the context behind it, you like, yeah, like it's pretty good. Like the way they did it, not the form. The second one was where people assumed that Vegeta lost, and he was getting his ass whooped, to be fair. But like they saw one panel and the league where Granola surpassed his limit and Vegeta's losing, and people immediately assumed that Vegeta lost this fight. The same thing happened with this one, where people assumed Vegeta lost, and we find out it's not as clear cut as it made it out to be. And like we all reacted to it, and I'm not going to like I'm guilty of the same thing, because I read the because I heard about the leaks, and I felt like this is going to be trash. And then I read it, and then after a second reading, like it's not as bad. So if you watching this, although I'm pretty although I doubt anyone is because I'm seeing the views. Um and if in any time in the future, just don't read the leaks. It's the worst way to know about the chapter, in my opinion. Do you two have any thoughts?
Basically, just take your time through the reading and make sure the if you actually wait for the more context value of the things. Don't jump straight into the assumptions, because with that, it's gonna not only is it going to ruin your experience, but it's also gonna piss you and your friends off.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, what about you, Gias?
Nah, nah. I don't got nothing. I totally agree with both of y'all.
Okay, so with the chapter ourselves, we're not going to like give it like a narration. I'm pretty sure if you're coming here, we are assuming you already read the chapter, but basically to give you a basic summary, and it's not like don't take my word as gospel. Um, so basically, Vegeta was getting beaten up in his alter ego form because Granola became super cerulean, and he got like two red eyes, two very red sharp eyes, and he's stronger now. So he's beating up Vegeta with his gun blast thing, the finger blast thing. I'll call it the finger bang. His finger bang beams are really getting to Vegeta, which caused him to revert to his base form. And Vegeta is like Granola like continuing to beat him up, and then Goku saved him. And Goku saved him, and he's like, "Let me handle this one, Vegeta." And Vegeta basically kicked his ass. And then like Granola tried to attack Vegeta again, and Vegeta fell unconscious because Goku kicked him away before he got like a vital blow. And then you see, okay, I'm just giving you a reading, but then I'll tell you where my issue is. So, like Goku is fighting Granola again in a Super Saiyan Blue form, and then he figured out the weakness, not the weakness, but a counter to Granola's vital point attack, where before Granola hits you in the vital, there's like a small pause between where he's going to hit. So Goku uses that time to move his vitals away, and he was doing well against Granola because of that. But then Vegeta decided to tag in again, and he's like, "Let me handle this one," and Goku allowed him. So Vegeta once again transformed into his alter ego form. He's beating up Granola, and then Granola like saw a Sugarian mother and a child, and he got a PTSD. And because it's the same look he gave to the Saiyans, he excuse me. So he beside like Vegeta like told him, "Oh, you the same way as us. Like you doing the same thing we were doing all those years ago." So Granola like beat him up some more, and he was like, "Okay, motherfucker, I'm just going to kill you and myself." And Goku stopped him, and Monaito stopped him, and then we find out the big revelation of Monaito telling Granola that Bardock is the one who saved him. That's like the whole TLDR. It may, like I said with my summary, it would look worse than it actually is. It's actually a lot deeper. So, like, if you didn't read it, go read it out. But I'm pretty sure you've already read the chapter. Simply because it's around like 20th and it's what 25 now? It's 24. It's about to turn 25. But the other thing is you wouldn't be watching the review otherwise. So that's it. So what are your thoughts?
Well, uh, well, how you explain it, to me, it kind of seemed like Vegeta getting the short end of the stick again. But at least he beat Goku, and then out of nowhere, Goku came out of nowhere, got some plot armor, and it was like keeping up with Granola again. It
Yeah,
just
that's
seemed
the way I explained it. Yeah.
it just seemed completely stupid.
Well, yeah, we'll get to the stupid part and we'll get to the Vegeta part, which is surprisingly is not something I took. Okay, so I didn't take too much offense of the way the Vegeta versus Granola fight happened, surprisingly, because it looked like I was really going to hate it after reading the leaks. But at the same time, I'm not. So this one actually had a point, and I'll explain it later. But to the Goku part, as you mentioned, the plot armor thing, I don't get one thing. It's like how is Goku able to move his vitals? Was that a thing before?
I do not remember that in Dragon Ball Z or in Dragon Ball Super of Goku doing something like that before, or if that's some type of
I
new.
think he did something like that with Hit when he discovered about Hit's tactic of the time skip. He
Yeah.
kind of figured out how to play with that as well. So I feel like he kind of learned from the first mistake from watching from Vegeta's fight with Granola, and also
Hmm.
with his own experience with it. I guess he kind of got a familiar feel with how the character uses their abilities in a way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, yeah, I would agree. It's also somewhat kind of stupid plot armor. Like Goku comes in to save the day or the fight once again. Like, damn. Okay.
I mean, like with like yeah, but like to go back a bit, I saw Goku versus Hit as like Goku knowing Hit's fighting pattern and know where exactly to block, right? But he was like blocking. He was like either blocking or deflecting. So wherever Hit is supposed to hit you, it's blocked, right? Because Hit doesn't have a lot of time. When he stops the time, it's not for too long. So that's how Goku was able to block it or evade it because he know where Hit's going to hit. Pun very much intended. Um, so I think the thing with Granola is different because before that, like let's going back to Goku versus Granola fight. Granola's vital point look like it's going to lock onto it no matter how much Goku evades it, as shown by him. As shown by Goku using a Super Saiyan Blue state with Ultra Instinct, and Granola able to like hit him in the neck and say, "You can, your Ultra Instinct is refined and whatever, but if I'm locked onto it, you're never going to evade it." But he turned Ultra Instinct, so he's able to hide all of his vital areas. But I can actually see it as like I can actually see it make sense if Goku's like emphasizing the energy on his body or the key to where if Kurono's like trying to hit you in the vital area, like in the neck, and Goku concentrates ki on the neck, that way, as bullshit as that sounds, it's a lot better than Goku just moving his vital areas before he's able to hit him. And that's like thing. But I guess I don't know. But I see your point. But at the same time, I wish like they change it to where Goku's just concentrating ki over the vital areas. So that way it's protected a bit and it doesn't hurt as much as it should. As for the but that's like another argument that I want to bring up is that this whole time they make it look like Vegeta is the one who does the thinking, right? Even though Goku is like the natural martial artist, Vegeta does the thinking. So how the hell he didn't figure out to move his vital areas around, or is this like it's like a Goku thing?
I think it's more of. I think
Goku.
it's more of the. I think it's more of a Goku thing. Cause yeah, I think it's more of a Goku thing. Cause Vegeta's more of the head head first. I'm gonna kick your ass kind of way.
Well, Goku is like the main character. He gotta get everything. It might be. It just might be
Basically,
like. It might be like a side effect of Ultra Instinct or something. He's not using Ultra Instinct. It's just like Ultra Instinct inside his body that just move his organs or something like that. Like, but
Okay,
but but like how they just come out of nowhere and say that it just seemed like complete plot armor.
yeah, I can actually see Ultra Instinct as like being the one to move its vital area, because apparently the perfected version of it actually hides all of your vital areas for a time until you get exhausted with it. Granola can one shot him and whatever. But okay, I can see that part around. But on the other hand, on the other side of the thing, and I'm not going to like just shit on that part completely. At least this is not a dumb Goku. At least like okay, I figured out all your fighting patterns, and I also noticed like the pause you take, so I know a counter to it. So it's like at least it makes Goku be smarter. And that's like the thing about Goku is the reason he's dumb is simply because he's like a forest boy, but he knows martial arts and he learns things quickly, and he knows the fighting patterns of the guy. He's a fighting genius in a certain way. So and that part doesn't get emphasized a lot, especially in Super. Like I can see, especially in the manga part of the Super. So I actually like Goku having a counter this time and observing, but moving the vital areas around is a bit iffy to me. But as you explained, like it's the ultra instinct kicking in. So, and I also agree with you. I guess it also makes sense why Vegeta is not able to, because he's like a diving headfirst kind of person. But exactly how does he think is what I wonder. Um, any thoughts? Anything you want to add, both of you, or just an opinion on it?
from what I see, if with Vegeta style compared to Goku's is more of well, similarly, kind of like the Super Broly movie, how Goku was more of the he would use the opponent's strength against them and shift their weight or their attacks for him to counter strike
Yeah,
or for him to evasively maneuver. Whereas Vegeta, he was more fierce,
brawler.
hard-going, knocking away, and just straight up brawler. Yeah. So I guess in a way, it's really just based on how they were raised with their fight styles, because it's shown how different the two are. Sure, they seem like
Hmm.
two normal Saiyans, but the moment when you see them fight, that's when you can tell there's a huge difference between them both.
Yeah, I can actually agree with that. And it's like a simply case like Goku's a martial artist, and if that part's emphasized, and it may not, some people may see it or some people don't. I didn't like the moving the vital areas around, but at the same time, it makes Goku like it doesn't make Goku dumb. It's not a dumb, even in this, if considering the setting of Dragon Ball, it's not a dumb. It's not dumb exactly. It's dumb on the writing part, but if you look at it from Goku's way, it's actually smart that he's actually has a counter to it, and he actually observed Gronola's fighting pattern. And like I said, I'm not. It's not bad. It's mostly good, but there are some issues with it too. Um, but like I said, I agree. It's not. I don't hate that part. I hated it at first. I was laughing at about it, but then I read it again. It's like, nah. What about you, Kios?
Oh, I, I I totally agree with Serena with that though, because to me this kind of seemed like like a throwback to like Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah,
You know how like how like every time Goku or Vegeta get into a fight, it's always Vegeta getting beat up, right? And then
yeah,
out of nowhere, Vegeta is gonna pull something out his. He's gonna like for example like the cell thing when Goku died and it was up to Gohan to defeat Cell and Vegeta came out of
yeah.
nowhere. And so I really believe it's gonna Goku go. You know, like how Goku like to fight and all, and he don't think. But
Yeah,
Vegeta, I really believe that like Vegeta is gonna post something in the in the next chapter or a few other chapter or something to
you know
defeat
what?
Granola.
You know what? I would like get to it too, like the prediction part. But like, so yeah,
And one
I
more
agree
thing
with
though,
you.
did they even show like what can alter ego actually like do when he take enough damage?
In the last chapter, they kind of did, but it's not. It doesn't look as clear. But we'll get to it. But like as you said, like, um, you Vegeta's like the only guy who can have an ass pull and still get his ass kicked. But we'll get to Vegeta, and I'll say I'll get to like the defense of Vegeta this time. I'll tell you the part I didn't like, and that's like the same thing from the last stream I did on the chapter, the previous chapter, I mean. And like some people, I will also like give a different opinion on it, on the different side of it, because I saw a couple of videos and they actually kind of make it make sense to me. Like guys like Masakox and some other people in the comment section of Geekdom. But to get to my issue with it, and it's like a criticism thing. If you're going to reveal a like if you're going to reveal a new transformation, especially something that is going to rival the strongest form of the main character, you have to make it at you should at least give it one chapter, maybe two, where it's like showcased and it's like looking strong. And when I say looking strong or looking good, I mean like give it most of the stuff, like give it most of the time or the panel time, so that way you can actually see that form as kind of unbeatable until you start to realize the weaknesses of it and how you can counter it. And you asked a good question, what does alter ego can do? And that's a good question that I kind of I'm still like not I'm still unable to get. And people in the comment section or people in the live chat can like explain things to me if they're going to. But like if they didn't show as much time showcasing Vegeta's form, then they spent like then just like trying to rush things out. Like Vegeta's beating up Granola, and then Granola got stronger now because he's making up for his experience and he's like learning to grow as he fights. Not in a way Broly does, but like he's finally learning to how to use his power. And you actually see Granola like push Vegeta to the limit, and then Granola became super civilian, and then he's like beating up Vegeta again. But that's like he did that in the same chapter where you're supposed to showcase Vegeta's new form, and that is what a lot of people were excited for and waited a month for. Um, on the other hand, I'll get on the other hand, I'll explain why it made sense why Vegeta is not able to perform as well as he should. But from a storyline perspective, if he gets a new form and that's his strongest form, and that's supposed to be his counter to the Ultra Instinct, at least give him one chapter. I kind of get why, because like it, I kind of took an issue with chapter 65, where Goku was able to once again use Ultra Instinct, the perfected one, the silver hair one, and he was beating up Moro, and then he's beating up Moro some more, and then he finished Moro in the next chapter, right? With um, I feel like if you can do this with Goku, you can do this with Vegeta. But at the same time, I guess he didn't want to waste time, and especially if these chapters come out monthly, you have to like move things up. Especially when the movie is coming, and I have a feeling that they're going to wrap this up before the movie comes out, like they did last time. And but at the same time, am I making sense here? Like if you give him a new
Yeah,
form
yeah,
and
yeah.
he's
You are.
in the
Yeah,
middle,
you are.
in the in the second half he's getting his ass kicked, and in the next chapter he's getting his ass kicked some more. That's like the weakest way you can introduce a new form. It's like me, and I said this before. It's like giving Gohan a Super Saiyan 2, and that's like a new form because you haven't seen a form like that ever before. And then he gets like 5 to 10 pages of him beating up Cell, and then Cell just like beats him up.
I really think they just trying to do like he got the new form, but he didn't fully master it.
Yeah,
It, it.
that's like
It's
the
like it's
other side of it.
it's like
Yeah,
a call it's like a callback to the Cell Saga when Vegeta got Super Vegeta
yeah,
and he was still got it and he was still getting his ass kicked. So
yeah. Like
Or
and
the
like I'll get
it's
to
kind of
the
like
yeah. Sorry.
it's kind of like the first time Goku went Super Saiyan God. It's a
Hmm.
new form, not quite so adjusted to the form. Sure, it has a lot of power, but it's not mastered.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I was like I also like. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't make sense because then I want to add something to it too later. I was just explaining from a storyline perspective. Like this character has more reason to fight Granola than Goku does, because even though Vegeta never attacked Granola's people, he still did the same thing the Saiyans did to Granola's people, because destroying planets and killing people is not something new to Vegeta. And but like I'm just saying, and I'm not like asking for much, but I'm just saying like giving it one chapter of Vegeta just shining would do better. At the same time, I kind of get why, and the way they did it makes sense to me. I didn't like him getting a new form and then lose like and then still getting his ass kicked. But at the same time, they kind of made it sense. It kind of makes sense. I like you two have a point, and there's like another point to it that I'm going to bring up. But I'm just like speaking from a storyline perspective, that storytelling perspective where he gets a new form, he loses, and that's like not how you introduce a form, is what I was like trying to say. But yeah, on the other hand, now from the making sense part, so before we go there, people kind of got mad at Vegeta and they're calling Vegeta stupid and especially geekdom. And some people kind of explained it to him. They were upset basically because Vegeta kicked Goku and he's like beating up Goku because Goku's like trying to tag in. And they're like, it's regression because why is Vegeta still refusing help? Why is Vegeta going back to not fighting alongside Goku? Why is he why is he beating up Goku instead of like helping him like he did before? And my argument to that is, if once the one argument is the previous times Vegeta and Goku actually fought together, and Vegeta actually chose to fight alongside Goku is when they had people to protect. Vegeta at that point in time has no one to protect. He's just fighting for the sake of fighting. That's one argument that he already brought up in the chapter. The second argument, and that's where Masako kind of made sense to me, is um they kind of explained it as like Vegeta had a plan and Goku was kind of ruining it. Goku was kind of ruining it, but you also have to consider that, as and I said before, Vegeta is a character who has done the same thing the Saiyans did to Ceruleans. It's not like Vegeta ever hesitated back in the day to not destroy a planet. I think the first scene, maybe not in the manga of Dragon Ball, I'm talking about Dragon Ball Z in the anime. The first scene of Vegeta was where he was in a planet which he is employed to destroy, and then he destroyed another one before he went to Earth. Even if it's a filler, it gives you context. Destroying planet is nothing new to Vegeta, and he killed a lot of people. The same way Ceruleans, the Saiyans killed the Ceruleans. Ceruleans are not the first people the Saiyans have destroyed. But not to go off on a tangent here, Vegeta did the same thing the Saiyans do because he's a Saiyan in his heart. So it was, he felt guilt for it, and he already explained that he sees himself as a villain. Goku, on the other hand, even though he's a pure-blooded Saiyan, he's more of a human than a Saiyan. If that makes sense to you, that everything the Saiyans typically do, Goku has never done that. He's not a planet destroyer. He doesn't kill good people or innocent people, or that's what you led to believe. But uh, it's more of a Vegeta thing. It is Vegeta's business, not Goku's. Vegeta is the villain and not Goku. If like, let me, I'll just clarify this. I kind of fumbled there. Vegeta is the villain and not Goku in the sense that Vegeta used to be an invader and who raided other planets and killed people. Goku has never done that. So when Vegeta is like asking to take over and not choose to team up with Goku or not have Goku fight Granola, it's simply because of the fact that Vegeta knows what the Saiyans did to Ceruleans, and it's not Goku's burden to bear. It's not like Goku should not get the hate Granola is giving to the Saiyan. Like Goku doesn't deserve the hate that Granola is giving. I My English kind of screwed up there.
So
I'm sorry.
in a way, Vegeta is taking on the burden of what the Saiyans
Yeah,
done to the Corellians, but due to the fact Goku has never done such actions, he doesn't want Goku to basically take the fall with it.
yeah. That's one. And like the other thing is like Vegeta knows more about the Saiyans than Goku does. Goku only knows that Goku already knows what Goku's told. Vegeta's the one who experienced that. So why is it why should Goku take the blunt or a part of the blame for something he never did? So that's one argument, and the other argument we'll get to when when the conclusion happens, because people were like saying Vegeta looked like a bitch, and I'll explain that part too. Um, but yeah, the reason Vegeta beat up Goku is not because he he's he's going arrogant or cocky, but simply because this is his fight, and it's his burden to bear. And you find out that Vegeta actually feels remorse and guilt for what his people did to other people. So, and Goku doesn't deserve that. So that's why Vegeta was like, just let me take over. And it came off to me as you don't have to fight and you don't have to take the blame for something we did. But does that make sense to you? Do you have like anything to add? I kind of rambled on, so some parts may be lost.
I,
Yeah,
I, I understand. I know what you're trying to say. So it's basically like you know how in GT where when they had Baby and Baby hated the Saiyans or any other race and they wanted
yeah,
revenge. It's like
yeah,
it's like a reverse version of that.
Yeah,
So this is basically what Vegeta felt guilty of what his people did to to the other planets.
yeah,
And it could go with Bardock too, because you know how in the special when Bardock saw the future and he wanted
yeah,
to rebel against Frieza,
yeah.
and is that Bardock special, is that canon or
That's non-canon. That's fan made,
that's not? Oh,
unfortunately.
okay. No,
Well,
well, I can't use that then. So
so I like there's a truth to it. Like Bardock, the character is canon, but Bardock didn't make his first appearance in the manga. He made his first appearance in the Bardock special, as you said. And Akira Toriyama liked the Bardock special, and he's like, okay, I'll add this character out of respect for what Toei did with the whole story, right? Bardock is canon, not the whole story, and then you find out that then you actually find out Bardock's actual story when Toriyama decided to write it. The one you saw in Dragon Ball Super Broly or Dragon Ball Minus Part, where Bardock's not bad, but yeah, like we'll get to that.
He's not exactly good, but he's not exactly bad.
In Bardock Special, he was bad. I
Yeah,
mean, even
yeah.
though he was fighting, he's like the lone guy fighting the Frieza force, and he's just trying to protect his planet. Bardock, that's him. But you can also make an argument that Bardock kind of deserved what he got because if like it's already like emphasized that Saiyans are just as bad as Frieza was. The only difference is Vegeta's like not Vegeta. Frieza is stronger, and Saiyans are Saiyans are under their rule. But if you reverse the positions, they would do the same thing, and they have. And it's implied that they've already done that beforehand before the Cold Army control of the took control of the Frieza, took control of the Saiyans. So yeah, but like the Bardock thing we'll get to with, but like as you said, like Serena, as Serena said, Vegeta's like taking the fall simply because he's the one who feels the guilt because he's been there. Goku hasn't. So it's not by people were calling it regression, but it wasn't really regression. It's just Vegeta's. It's one Goku was kind of ruining Vegeta's plan, and the other was Goku doesn't deserve to take the fall for what Vegeta and his people did. Uh, and people will bring up, well, Vegeta kind of said that Goku is number one, and like the whole Boo speech he gave when Goku was fighting Kid Buu meant nothing. And my counter to that was Vegeta has accepted his shortcomings and acknowledged Goku as better than him, but it doesn't mean Vegeta never said that you can. I'll just like be weaker than you, and I'll just be a side character. He said, "I've acknowledged my shortcomings, and I can see why you're better than me because of it, because of my shortcomings." But it never said that, "Hey, Goku, from now on you can interrupt in my fights. You can save me. I'll just become a side character and just like roll over. I'll become the Piccolo." Vegeta never meant that. Goku kind of interrupted his fight, so of course Vegeta is going to react to it, and for the aforementioned reasons I've brought up. So when people say that Super is a series where the you're the number one line doesn't matter, I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't get that part. It's just Vegeta has acknowledged that it's just Vegeta acknowledging his mistakes, and that was it. But with the GT thing, I think the Vegeta's reaction, like when facing the people, oh my god, I'm going to make this complicated, but simply put, the way they explored the Saiyans attack on other people is much better emphasized and given focus than the baby saga did, because you already saw that like Saiyans invaded the Tuffles and they've pretty much killed people there, but they never focused on the guilt part of it, of why Vegeta would feel guilty. He's just like You've taken over my people, so I'm just going to beat you or kill you. And it doesn't help the fact that Baby was a villain, and he was like a clear cut villain. I mean, I'm not saying Baby is a bad villain because he's a great villain. I just think the whole sins coming back to haunt them later on story arc that they did is much better explored in Super, which is a hot take, and I'm people are going to agree and people won't.
Basically what Vader's trying to say is that the way that Super is handling it compared to the way GT handled it, it's a lot more. It makes a lot more. Not I wouldn't say sense, but it has a much more gentle flow of what's going on.
Yeah, because like in GT, Vegeta was just trying to kill Baby. I mean, he was just trying to kill Baby. He's never like looked like he actually felt bad for what the Saints did to Tuffle. And if I don't know, and Baby was already a clear cut villain in this. Granola is not a villain. He's a victim of the Saints attack. And Vegeta was actually feeling guilty about this, as he should, because you trying to show that he's a changed man. He's not the old Saint he used to be. So, in that sense, it's explored much better. The whole thing of Sins of the Saiyans is explored much better in Super than in GT. But I'm not going to like shit on the Baby arc because it was a great arc, and at least when a new form was introduced, it actually got a win. So once again, I'm not like trying to shit on the Baby arc. I'm just saying one thing is like this one, like if you notice, like the Granola arc is more story driven. It's more it focuses more on telling the story instead of giving you cool fights and whatever. But again, I'm okay. I'm going off on a tangent here. So what I was saying, Vegeta Vegeta being pissed with Goku being in the way kind of makes sense, and it's not character regression for the reasons I mentioned. Now we're going to get to the fight, and we're going to get to the alter ego part because, as you said, Gias is actually true. As you and Serena said, Vegeta has not fully tapped on to ultra ego simply because, as B has explained, your mind has to be on the destruction. If you're going to cling on the past, you'll never be able to move forward or you'll never be able to get stronger. So Vegeta already admitted that, yeah, I'm not able to fully go back to my old callous self. So it, as you said, like because of Vegeta's nature, and like he was trying to be a bad guy, he's trying to be his old self, but he couldn't revert to it, and that's why that whole form failed because his mind wasn't totally on destruction. It's more on getting through to Granola, and it's not even though Vegeta was getting his ass handed, and I'll use another point of Masako. They like he explained that Vegeta was not trying to kill Granola. He's not trying to destroy Granola. He is trying to get through to him. I mean, when Vegeta was already like stronger than Granola, he could have killed him at any point in time, but he didn't. He's focusing more on trying to let him know the path he's taking. And Vegeta, it's not like Vegeta was prepared. It's not like in the Cell saga, Vegeta just like allowed Cell to transform. In Cell saga, Vegeta was drunk on his own power. In this one, Vegeta kind of didn't expect Granola to get stronger because, as mentioned before, Granola was not experienced with his power. He didn't train. He doesn't know how to use the full extent of his power, and nobody at that short can actually overcome that flaw. Especially someone like Granola, who's not really a fighter but a sniper. So, but like it's not like Vegeta got his ass kind like Vegeta. It's not like Vegeta was being stupid. It's just that he's trying to get through to this guy and like letting him know that they don't work for Frieza. And whatever he's doing is just as bad as what the Saints did to Ceruleans. to sorry, what? You going to say something? Okay. I was just going to say it kind of makes sense why Vegeta lost. One reason he couldn't refer to his old self, and the other reason is he was never really trying to win a fight. And the third reason is what we'll get to during the conclusion of the fight, where people actually assume that Vegeta lost. Do you two want to add something to it?
I think it's also due to the fact with Vegeta's time on Earth is that
Yeah,
he overgrew in time to not be the man he once was,
yeah,
not to be the ruthless killer. Instead, he learned how to be a father, a mentor in a way,
yeah,
and a husband. But
yeah.
yeah,
Because
so yeah,
like Vegeta, like the whole alter ego state is Vegeta trying to like Vegeta is like that whole alter ego state is Vegeta imitating his past self, as opposed to Majin Vegeta, where Vegeta pretty much became his past self. Vegeta was, and like that whole alter ego state showed that Vegeta couldn't be that person again because of how much he's grown. He couldn't let go of that guilt. He couldn't move on from the past. So that's why that whole form failed, because your mind is supposed to be on the destruction. Your mind is supposed to win and destroy the opponent, as opposed to trying to save that opponent and feeling guilty for your action. And the other side of it, I actually read that part on Dragon Ball Wiki, because like it's like a thing, it's like a power which allows you to tap onto your like primal nature and allows you to get absorbed, and basically Vegeta got way too absorbed in his primal nature, so he was willingly taking hits. Like that form took over instead of Vegeta control. Like that form was controlling Vegeta instead of Vegeta controlling that form. So he was taking unnecessary hits, and because Granola kept like beating him, Vegeta was like going to hit his limit. But to answer your question now, Gias, it's basically the more the more hit Vegeta takes, the stronger he gets, and his power on the destruction side of it is improved. He has like more of a control on the destruction energy than he does normally. But the basic power of it is that he would get stronger the more he takes hit. But the weakness of it is if he's taking too much hit, he's going to reach his limit and he's going to start losing. And the other side of his your mind has to be on the destruction. Like you would have to focus more on destroying the opponent than trying to save him. And that is why that form was not that is why that form didn't perform the way it did. Does that answer your question? Or you have like do you think it's bullshit? Yes?
I can see I can see what you mean by that with how the form works, and honestly, I can. Your explanation actually would prove a lot of what happened during the fights,
Yeah.
and even
Like
seeing the pages and everything, you can see that he's not defending himself. He's not really much. I mean, yeah, he's fighting, but he's not really, you know, fight to kill.
yeah, he's not fighting to kill because he could have killed him when he had multiple chances to do it. And at the same time, like he was taking unnecessary hits, and and to a point where he was actually hitting his limit. And you see the result of that by the end of the arc where he's barely standing. So that was like the whole thing why that form failed Vegeta. There are two sides of the argument here. Like one, TLDR. One reason is Vegeta has to focus his mind on destruction, which he wasn't, and that is why the form isn't performing as much as it should. And the other argument is Vegeta took too many hits to actually be able to do something, or like actually be able to win. He even had a senzu bean that he didn't eat. If he took the senzu bean and ended up eating it, it wouldn't be as bad. Okay. Gia said he's going to go. Um, but that was like the whole thing of it. Is there are two like ah, Vegeta at least has an out here, and it's not really much of a loss. And we'll be getting into it. But like, what are your thoughts on what do you think would be why Vegeta lost, or why didn't Vegeta lose, but he was getting his ass whooped?
I think a lot of it would be the unfamiliar. I mean, with it being a new form, I think he was
Hmm.
unfamiliar with how to work with the form. And like as you
Yeah,
said, I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that he was fighting against the form instead of working with it.
that and there's that. Or if you're not convinced with it, you can also see it as that form taking Vegeta over. And if a form takes you over and it's like allowing you to like there are times where Vegeta's like not Vegeta could have dodged hits instead of like taking it and he took it. And even though he was getting stronger, it doesn't mean he would like stop being immune to the pain. And that's what the whole thing was. But like there are two things to an argument. There are two sides of an argument here. And the other side of it, no, I'm not getting. Never mind. I was actually going to say Grunel's getting stronger, but nah. But yeah,
I mean, to be fair, he did wish himself to be the strongest being in the universe. Am I right?
yeah,
So I guess it
and
kind of also, yeah,
and the gap wasn't too big either because Grunel's like the same dude who one shot at Ultra Instinct. So it's not like Vegeta was fighting someone like Yamcha who can never hope to surpass him. But yeah, so now we'll get to like Vegeta's reason. And again, I'm referencing my okay. So before I do, there is I before I bring it up because I said like Vegeta was not trying to win the fight and not try to kill Granola. I'm curious as to why what would happen if Granola actually didn't like if Granola took the destruction ball. You know, like in the previous chapter, Vegeta was like planning on throwing that
yeah,
giant
yeah,
destruction energy ball on Granola. It said he said he's going to destroy the planet.
yeah. Hmm.
So I'm wondering what was Vegeta's intention when he's trying to like when he was like throwing that giant ball at Granola. What if Granola didn't? What if Granola actually didn't get his like other eye? The like what if Granola's left eye didn't become red? And what if that giant destruction energy would actually hit the ground? Would it not kill Granola, much less destroy a planet?
I feel like I feel like it would do a mix. I feel like it would do a mix. I feel like it would badly injure Granola to the point where it was like a near death experience. As for the
Hmm.
planet wise, I'd say it's a 40 to 60% chance of survival with how large of a blast that was.
I guess
You know?
I guess I guess yeah. Like I that could be possible. Maybe like the destruction energy is like maybe the destruction energy wasn't actually going to destroy the planet. And there are times where people and I'm like even though anime and manga continuity are different, and I'm not going to like say that what happened in the anime would actually happen in the manga, but there's one scene where Topo actually hit Frieza with the destruction energy, and Vegeta like Frieza came like and Frieza was able to go like Frieza was actually able to move and be able to fight. So I can actually see that form being not like that power like that destruction giant destruction energy ball being non-lethal. So but yeah, but like yeah, I'll just give the what if channels material here. What if Vegeta giant destruction energy ball actually hit Granola? I'm actually kind of fumbling a lot. I guess it's more of my like a tongue thing. But I was going to bring up something, but I forgot about it. Yeah, like so. Basically, let's get to like the closing end of the fight where Vegeta was getting like was going inside the city where the Shugurins reside in, and then you starting to see Vegeta's like basically getting his rematch with Granola. Basically, you kind of starting to see Vegeta's plan here. He's trying to get through to that guy. He told him what are you actually going to do after you're done with your revenge, and Granola had no answer to it. And then when Granola actually scared the Shugurians, Vegeta said the same thing. I'm not going to deny you your revenge, but you're basically doing the same thing we did to your people. And that's where you like Vegeta's intention were made clear of what he was actually planning on doing. But so I was going to bring this up. When Grona was actually planning on killing himself and Vegeta, they made it look like they were saying that Vegeta lost simply because he's apologizing and he's like admitting defeat and he gave up mentally and physically. And
the way the way
that
I was seeing it is
sorry.
more of he's accepting. The way I was seeing it, he was more
Hmm.
accepting the fact like that Granola admits that he in a way that Granola was okay with going down this path, and Vegeta was like, even though I tried to get through with him and failed, I tried my best.
Yeah, I saw it as like, and that's I'm referencing Masako a lot because once you like I saw his video. I think it was his latest video. From what I know, it's basically stop relying on spoilers or like stop relying on leaks. But this is where they kind of like explain that, as you said, like that could be possible. I saw it as Vegeta. Like he said that Vegeta was always planning on giving Granola the villain death, in the sense that he's going to be the villain that Granola has made both of these out to be. Vegeta is going to be that way, and by giving Granola a satisfaction of killing a Saiyan, maybe Granola will stop going down that path. And Granola kind of actually did, although not in a way you would expect. So I saw it as Vegeta was actually like planning on losing that fight or planning on dying on that fight, simply because he can simply in order to save Granola or in order to stop him from in order to stop him from taking this path any longer than he already had. So that's where he said like I'm sorry, Beerus, I'm not able to control, like I cannot revert back to my old ways, and I'm a novice to destruction. Yeah, I mean Vegeta was actually giving up, and you said he tried his best, and that can be seen that way. I see it as Vegeta was always planning on giving Granola a villain death. Like when Goku was fighting Granola, you actually see Vegeta looking at all the damage the Saiyans did to civilians, that he figured things out, and he looked like he had a plan. And I guess that plan was Vegeta was actually planning on dying there. And like when Goku actually saved him and Goku was like yelling at Vegeta to like letting him know what the fuck he was doing, Vegeta was actually smiling instead of like Goku when Goku interrupted the fight the second time, Vegeta was not upset with him. He was smiling. And I saw it that way. But like yeah, like I think both of those actually apply because there's nothing Vegeta could do anymore because he was like barely standing. And which leads me to another argument because, and I'm not going to take too much shots at geekdom, and I'm not trying to take shots at geekdom. I'm just like letting him know this. Vegeta, like geekdom said, well, why isn't Vegeta teleporting? Why is he giving up? And the other answer is simple: he can't. He was barely standing. He took a shitload of damage. Like what? How can he actually teleport from this? It's not like he can use instant transmission because the only time he was able to do it, it was like a lucky accident. and he already made it clear. He made it clear that he cannot use that technique anymore. He needs to train for it, and he didn't plan on training for it. And the other argument is, let's say if he was just like doing the typical teleport, which is not the instant transmission, but you see like how people actually like teleport behind someone without
Oh,
using the
like
instant transmission
the
technique.
after image kind of way,
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah,
how
but on top
can
of that, yeah,
Vegeta?
Vegeta's like hardly had any. I don't think he really had any energy left. He barely had any to stand.
Yeah, because like he didn't take the senzu bean. He just like became conscious again and he started fighting. He was already in poor condition beforehand, and at by the time the whole fight was over, Vegeta was barely standing, as you said. He can't move, or at the very least, he can't use the after image technique or the teleportation, especially around a guy who can actually see where you're going. Because even though his left eye was gone, he still had his right eye. And I think by the time Granola was like planning on launching his final attack, and by condensing his life energy into that giant ball that he was planning on shooting Vegeta with, Corona actually was able to reawaken that red eye again, the left one. So it's not like Vegeta can actually evade Granola or actually try to dodge that attack because Granola is a sniper. How can you evade a guy like him? And even
Not to
before
mention,
that,
snipers are known for range too. So it's just like
yeah,
close or far, he's still gonna get you.
he can really get you, and he like Vegeta cannot even like barely stand. So how is he actually able to do anything? How could he possibly
Not
teleport?
gonna lie, when I saw that panel, I was getting some
Yeah,
serious Majin Vegeta vibes. You know,
like like exploding himself, and he's like saying, "I'm sorry, people."
basically like that.
You know what? It actually gave me the same vibe too now. Like he's just smiling. Except this time he's saved by Goku. But yeah, but like there are two sides of an argument. It's not that Vegeta actually considered is actually giving up. It's more like Vegeta can't do anything else, as Serena mentioned. And the other argument is Vegeta was planning on dying anyway, because his entire intention was to give Granola a villain death and like basically have have Granola kill a save so he doesn't go down that path of revenge anymore. And the third argument, and that kind of like explains why Vegeta was never able to beat Granola when he possibly can. It's not that the guy was dumb. It's the fact that he had no intention of winning the typical way. But Vegeta actually won the fight psychologically because he was able to force that guy to think a different way, to not to stop focusing on Frieza, as shown by Granola actually trying to kill himself and Vegeta. But the other argument is the fight was not even a loss. It was more like a draw. If we're going to say Vegeta gave up, we can also say Granola gave up too, because he was planning on killing himself. And there's no
So
other way
yeah,
Granola.
basically the fight is a draw. That's basically the way to look at it. It's just a draw.
Yeah, without Goku's interruption, it would end with both guys being dead. So it's like a draw. It's not like one guy won or the other, and I like that's why I said like don't rely on leaks anymore, because when you actually like learn like read stuff, you'll actually know it's not what it's made out to be. And like yeah, so that's pretty much like done with the chapter. Before we get to the oh my god,
What happened? Wait, are you there? Oh, well, uh, I guess thanks for stopping by. Okay. Well, that was Masturbator and then Serena Dusk here, aka the Fallen. Thanks for stopping by the show, I guess. Till next time.
Oh, sorry. My phone actually died, and that I kind of like messed up there. Hold on. I apologize. My phone's battery died, and I kind of like my phone shut down. So if it took a delay, I'll apologize. Hold on. Let me like invite Serena. Give me a minute. I guess that's one of my biggest screw ups again. Oh my god. I do hope the stream's going on. I mean, it says live right there. Can you people hear me? Can anyone like type in the comment section? Hold on. Hello? Oh, I actually screwed up here. Shit. Let me see. Jesus Christ. I'm just waiting for Serena right now. Can anyone like type in the chat if you can hear me? Um Give me a minute. Hello? Can you hear me? Uh Damn it. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, sorry. So as I was explaining, and I seriously apologize. I This normally doesn't happen. My phone, like I didn't really like seen the battery of my phone. Now that I've seen it, I'm kind of feel bummed up because at the end of the day, this makes me look like an idiot. I should have charged my phone first. I didn't like it was like 55. I didn't think it would like. this like my phone would shut down this soon. Let me see if other people are joining. If um okay, you both you can hear me. Okay, so if you don't mind, Serena, you can join the stream. I'm not like shitting on the chapter wolf, and I'm mostly defending this chapter. If you want to join, you can just like join through the link I've sent in the self promotion of my server. Also, my phone doesn't have a headphone jack, so I'm no longer using my earphones. So if you see some outside noises, I apologize. Okay, Serena's not joining. Uh, right. So Serena's not joining because he got to get his like she got to get his sister. Okay, so while we're waiting on Wolf or anyone joining here, it's just me, I guess. So basically, as I was saying, the fight between Vegeta and Granola was not a total loss, and even if it was, it's not a clear cut one. Like for example, in the Moro saga, and people like saying that Vegeta looked like a bitch there, but actually, have you seen the Moro saga? Like where Vegeta lost to Moro, and Moro used Vegeta's own move against him and proceeded to insult that said move. I think that was way more disrespectful, and that made Vegeta look like a bitch instead of what's going on in the Granola saga. And I'm not going to like rant here. I'm just saying that at least it's not as bad it's not as bad as it could be. Even if I say it's not a draw, even if I say that even if I say that it's not the way I would have, it's not even if I say it's not the way you handle the Vegeta win or a Vegeta fight at this point in time, it could have been a lot worse. You could have seen Granola use his Super Civilian form and actually destroy Vegeta instead of having kind of an even fight where Vegeta's opponent was actually gasping for air or is about to kill himself because he no longer has enough energy in him. He pushed that guy to the limit and he won the fight psychologically. I'm not saying it could have been done better, but it could have been done a lot worse too. So I'm not as offended with this fight as I should be. That's one argument. Um, the other argument is okay, well, no problem. The other argument is, excuse me, it's mostly a draw. But like as I was saying, Vegeta was never planning on winning, so there's that going on too. But uh, let's get to let's get to the now that we're done with the Vegeta thing, because I guess there's nothing much to say about this anymore. I also want to bring up a few things too, because even though I'm referencing Masakox a lot, there are certain things he said that I didn't agree with. And one thing he said is Granola is like Granola. Granola is like Dragon Ball Z's Broly, the one that appeared in Broly the Legendary Super Saiyan, Broly Second Coming, and Bio Broly. And I actually disagree because so let's so in the Z Broly movie, he's upset with Broly. Dragon Ball Z's Broly is upset with Goku because he cried. Okay, PTSD, I get it. But at the same time, the whole room was dark. I doubt that Broly actually knows what Goku looks like, and like I'm pretty sure he saw Vegeta more than he saw Goku. And how the fuck can Goku's crying? Like if I like for example, and I'll tell you where it could have worked. If when Goten cried, right when Goten cried and Broly woke up because he got enraged, I can see that being a part of PTSD. But just looking at Goku's face or knowing his name, it doesn't make sense. The way I could see the PTSD thing going on, but the way they executed it is bad. With Granola, even though he was a child, even though he was not a baby. He saw everything and he saw everything unfold. He cares for people. He just hates the Saint and Frieza. He's willing he's willing to sacrifice his life for revenge, but he also doesn't want to harm anyone else, as shown by him actually pleading Vegeta to take this fight somewhere else. He never tried to harm the Shugarians. And the whole part of that was Granola is becoming the same person, like he's becoming like the Saiyans by scaring these people. But he does care. He just doesn't like the Saiyans and how and even though a lot of people tell him that Vegeta and Goku are not the bad guys, why would you believe it? If your interaction with them is that they were working for Frieza and they've killed your people, why would you be like, oh yeah, so you're not the bad guys? Yeah, let's just be friends. That's not how things would work. So the Granola and Z's Broly comparison, not the Super Broly, I'm talking about the non-canon Broly, is pretty much far off. It's not it's not a fair comparison. So I hate when people complain about Granola not like I hate when people actually say that oh he's annoying. Okay, but there's an understandable reason to it. He will not believe the very people who killed his people. So there's my disagreement with Masako X on that argument. But the other argument is, when you're alone and there's like it doesn't seem the same way, it gets a bit boring because it's just you talking. Um so the other side of the argument, like sorry, oh my god. So I would not say Granola is like sees Broly at all in any way, shape, or form. Nine. And the other side of the argument is I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Okay, let's get to the part. Like I think everything with the chapter is covered except for the Bardock part. And here's the thing, and I'm not going to shit on Bardock here. I'm not going to pretend that this Bardock is worse than the original Bardock, the one from the Bardock special. And that is what I was actually like planning on talking about because that's like the whole takeaway from this, that Goku is finally getting to learn about his father. I'm fine with this Bardock. I don't hate him. Super Broly actually did his character much better than Dragon Ball Minus did. But at the same time, you have to understand, and I understand the argument behind it. He's supposed to be multi-dimensional, right? I understand the argument, but you need to understand that by doing this, Goku's upbringing is not as special anymore. Because the original story is he was supposed to be like a typical Saint but was saved from a head injury. And that's what made him different from other Saints. That and his time on Earth. If you if you find out that there are actually good Saints which weren't in the Bardock special, because every one of them were evil and they kind of deserve the destruction that they got. With in this one, when you say that they're actually, when you say that they're when you say that there are other good saints, it kind of ruins what made Goku special. It's the fact that he was saved, not from a certain destruction, but from a certain nature too. And that is what made the whole evil Goku thing a lot special. But when you find out that Bardock was actually good and his mother was actually good, then you that the whole thing is not special. So is Raditz like the black sheep in the family? Is he like is he not only is he like the weak is he like the worst son they have? See, like that's what I'm talking about. I didn't like I didn't like Bardock being a good Saiyan or saving Granola for that reason, and the other reason is when Bard and that's let's not even like dive to the Bardock special. Let's just dive it here. In the Super Broly, they when there was like a line where Gina asked him, Bardock, why are you focusing on Goku so much? He said this. Sorry, why do you care about Goku so much or Kakarot? He said this. Because I've killed so many people, I want to save a life for once. And it looked like Goku was that life. It was his first life. It was the it was the first life he was saving instead of killing. So now they're just like contradicting something from 2018 because the movie actually came on 2018, and that's what I'm talking about. It's like, so was he saving other people's lives too, or did it start from Granola? And if it started from Granola, then that whole line of I want to have a change of pace for once actually makes no sense because it's actually contradicting something from 2018, and it's an issue because now you're just like retconning something from a movie that they did where they actually had Granola, not Granola, had Bardock be good, and that's what I'm like talking about. I'm not like I'm not saying this Bardock is better than the OG Bardock. I'm just saying this Bardock being good kind of makes Goku and an extension Broly, because Broly was supposed to be like a freak too, not special anymore. Because then the whole thing of Saiyans being evil is actually makes no sense anymore. It's retconning for the sake of retconning. And when Toriyama said he couldn't do anything that is better, he couldn't do the if he was given the pen to write the Bardock special, and he said it in an interview. Toei Toei Animation did the Bardock story much better than he could, and he actually proved that by doing Dragon Ball Minus, and now this. So he saved Granola instead, like being a good Saiyan, which makes Goku's upbringing less special. And the other argument is it kind of retcon what he said before. So Goku is not the first life he saved. His his own sons is not the first life he saved. It's some random guy he found in a planet that he was actually killing people in it. It's a bit concerning, and they I can like, but hey, at the same time, actually, like at the same time, Goku is actually going to learn about his parents. So I guess that's good, and that's something I want to see. So I guess that's pretty much the chapter. I'll just lay my prediction. I was hoping a bunch of people were there so I can want to like listen to what they think is happening. And Gia's kind of said that there's more to it than that. I don't think Rona would like Vegeta's going to do something in the next chapter. So my predictions is, and even though I was wrong, like because I made a prediction beforehand with Vegeta, I made like two predictions: Goku and Vegeta teaming up, and Vegeta actually winning the fight. None of them came true. So I'll just say this prediction, and we'll see how well that's going to go. So I'm going to like make two predictions: one what I want, and the other what I think is going to happen. I'll start with what I think is going to happen. What I think is going to happen is Granola, not yeah, Granola is going to learn about Bardock, and then he finally starts to see that he's getting mad at the wrong people. He's getting mad at the wrong people, and then he's going to stop trying to fight Vegeta and Goku, and he's convinced, and he's finally lets go of his revenge. But then you see the dragon summoning, because by that point in time, the Heaters have already summoned the dragon, and we'll find out what that wish is. I'm not sure. I think they're going to make either Gas the strongest being in the universe because he's like a fighter. So I think they're going to make him the strongest being in the universe and have like because Elec is like a evil dude, he's going to sacrifice a bunch of his the lives of his brother and sister, Oil and Maki. But that's what I'm not sure what the wish is going to be, so I'm just like leave that part here. We'll see. I don't think Elec's going to just like focus on strength all of a sudden, especially when he's more of an information kind of guy. When he brushed off strength before, why would he just suddenly want this guy to be strong or himself to be strong? I'll just get to what the thing. So basically, TLDR, Granola is going to be convinced and the dragon summoned, and then you see or hear Elex wish. Now, this is what I think. What I want is, even though he learns Bardock's, even though he learns about Bardock, it kind of destroys Granola's worldview, and he still couldn't accept the fact that there's a good Saiyan because pretty much every other Saiyan has killed his people, including his mother. And I hope they don't make the other Syrians alive too. I think Corona still, despite learning about Bardock, he's unable to forgive the Saiyans. He's planning on trying to kill Goku or Vegeta, but this time Vegeta actually beats up Granola. He beats up Granola. He got pissed at Granola. He beats him and gives him a pep talk while beating him. Talk no jutsu. And then Granola actually stops this time. But I hope this is not the end of the fight. But I think this is the end of the fight. I think Granola is going to be convinced, but I want Granola to not be convinced because it shouldn't be as easy. Yes, Bardock kind of saved your life, but the other sins killed your people and your mother. Why would finding out that one guy saved your life would change anything? So I kind of hope Granola just doesn't easily move on from this, and Vegeta actually beats Granola this time, beats him up, so that way people can actually finally cheer for Vegeta for the for the first time in a long time, where Vegeta actually gets a win and is able to convince this guy. I want that to happen, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think this fight's over, and I think that's all my predictions. Like I said, and I want to apologize again. I should have seen how much battery is left on my phone, and I didn't, and that kind of screwed my stream up. I once again apologize. I should know better, and I'm kind of bummed out that because of my phone's battery dying, Serena got disconnected, and now her or their time is up because I think Serena is a transgender. So that's my prediction. I don't think anyone else is going to give their prediction. But if you're going to watch the stream, Serena and Gias, I thank you both for joining. Wolf, I thank you for letting me know that you can hear me. And I once again apologize for disconnecting all of a sudden. It's kind of like a it's kind of like a dumb move from my part, and I guess that's like one of my embarrassing things going on. Embarrassing moments of my YouTube career. But yeah, like I thank you all for joining. If you like this stream, leave a like and subscribe for more awesome content. Also subscribe to the following channel. And I'm kind of bummed out Konosuke didn't join, but it's all right. Hopefully we'll get to have him here in the future. But yeah, like thank you all for joining. I'll see you people tomorrow. Not tomorrow, but like in the next stream. Bye.